Let's talk about normal biasy. I also want to share a photo with you. I'm going to put that at the end of this video because you're going to want to look at it really closely. What is normal biasy? What is normal biasy? Okay, well, let's just say for an example, I was a bit, what you don't know about me is I was a city girl. I was the fifth largest city in California. I loved living my life. I loved going to get my nails done. I liked getting my pedicures. I got my hair done all the time. I lived a life. I went out to lunch with my girlfriends. I didn't want to think about anything negative that was going on. I didn't want to know all of this stuff. It never even crossed my brain. You would see something bad happen and you would just keep moving on because nothing. I had normal biasy. Normal biasy is when you want things to be your normal, because normal is different for every person. You want things to be your normal. So you look at things with a biased based image in your brain. You may be looking at a horrible accident where there are people that are horrifically injured and you're not seeing that. Or you could be looking at people looting and stealing in a store, but you're not comprehending that. Your brain doesn't want to see that there is potential danger. It only wants to focus on what it can handle. That's normal biasy. There's a lot more information we can get in with that, but that is the term that people use when you know that there's potential for a disaster, like people in hurricane. You ever wonder why people don't leave? They have a normal biasy that nothing is going to hurt them. Oh, it's just going to be a little storm. It's going to pass. We have storms out here in the Pacific Northwest, literally where roofs fly off of houses. And I'm not even joking. That's about once a year. We have a really bad storm where we all hunker down and stay in the homes. And we don't go out on the road. And why don't we go out on the road? Because branches and trees are falling. When my husband got in his accident, it was on a time where the local agencies were telling people, please stay in your homes. Please stay home. Get to where you can and don't get out on the roads. Where was I? Driving my husband to the emergency room. Yeah. So I constantly have to ask myself, when I am looking at information or I am looking at a scene, which is what I was doing with North Carolina, Virginia, all of you people, I don't want to leave a state out. The southeast part of our nation. We're all Americans. The southeast part of our nation. When I'm looking at all of the information that's coming in and out, and I'm still analyzing it, I'm looking at it as to, this could happen to me. What would I do and how should I prepare if this is to happen to me? Now, I'm not being biased as, oh, that happened over there. It could never happen here, because you know what? It sure could. I should also mention we have hurricane force winds. People just never talk about 120 miles an hour. That's nothing. For our area, it's child's play. People move out to the coast because they want the nice, beautiful ocean. They spend one winter here and they're like, see ya. They leave. They can't handle our storms. The ice, 2 inches of ice on the roads, like literally my husband at work, during work, has skated down 101. Skated down 101. Yeah. The winds, when he opens up his back of his car, the winds took his, if I ever show you his thermos is all ratted up. That's because it fell out of the back of his car in a wind, took it and flung it down 101. He had to go chase after it. Let's get back on. So now that you know normal biases, when your brain is protecting itself and it does not want to think about what it is actually seeing as it could happen to you. So you continue to live your life as normal because you can't fathom and comprehend. You have to stop, literally think about what you are seeing. Think about, am I being biased with this information that I'm getting in? Or am I seeing as if it could happen to me? And analyze it. We have to analyze everything, all of the information that we're taking in. We can go down the rabbit trails and we can get a ton of information and we can totally short circuit our brain to where it wants to protect itself because it can't handle the information. So how do I protect myself from all of the negative information? Prayer, absolute prayer. People ask me, how come you know this? Really? I've been looking into things for decades. Why? Where did it come from? I have a family member that I thought was absolute crazy. I thought that person was bonkers. And then the stuff that they were saying was coming true. And I'm like, oh. And then I went to them and sat down and said, could you please tell me everything you know? And then I went and started researching what they were telling me, and it was all mapping out. So when somebody tells you things and you think they're bonkers, don't look at them and say, oh, you're bonkers. And don't give the look on your face like, oh, you're crazy. Analyze it. Stop and think, could this happen to me? If this did happen, what would I do? How would I like to be prepared for this situation? For goodness sakes, I tell people all the time, you need to have some food on hand just in case an emergency happens. Look how long it took for them to get help into this area. You need to have enough food to feed your family and your neighbors if needed until that people can get in and get you help. And even then, why should other people or the government come and rescue you? You should be as self-sufficient, we call it God-sufficient. You should be as God-sufficient as possible in your area for yourself. So, talking about all of that, let's talk about the no-go zones, because some people have asked me when I mention the no-go zones. There are no-go zones. There is a map that I obtained probably early 2000s that is covered in red, and I willingly moved here knowing that I was moving into a red zone. And I am beginning to think that these no-go zones, red zones, I look at the map. I want you to look at the map and I want you to tell me if Asheville, North Carolina is in this area. Because it looks to me, I mean, it's an old 1997 map. And it looks to me like what they were creating or doing is where all of the resources that they want are red zones. And it looks like Asheville is in that. It looks like Asheville and the part of Tennessee that got damaged is in those zones. I have not, now see, here's where the spoiler alert person in me would, if I had all the time in the world, I would take a map of all of the dams that they removed and I would overlay it with all of the red zones, because I would want to see if and the red zone is just no limited human access. That's all it is. It's limited human access. Now they always say you will own nothing and be happy. And I actually have a book there's a lady that wrote a book about it and how they were doing it. And I often wondered how they would remove us from our land that we have here. And I think it's pretty obvious now. But you know, I'm not going to concentrate on this kind of content. I am concentrating, my content is going to be on being prepared. Like you're going to see me doing weird videos about moisturizers and cooking food and being prepared. My main goal in this channel is not to scare the crap out of people, because I could do that so easily. I could scare the crap out of you. But my main goal is that you get prepared. All hands on deck. You get prepared. You see what you need and you focus on getting prepared. And my main goal is that when I share something with you, I want you to look at it as in, oh, I'm removing the chemicals from my world. I'm trying to eat clean. I'm trying to eat better. I'm getting healthy. I've lost weight. I want you to focus on getting yourselves prepared to be able to withstand what's coming and be healthy going through it. So that's the whole main. So I'm going to put the photo up now so you can see it. Now I want you to put 2 fingers on the screen and then take a snapshot of the photo, and then you can save it for yourself. And let's hope this doesn't get taken down. Like literally, let's hope this doesn't, because I have a strange feeling it might, right? I'll talk to you guys later. Now you know what I know. Okay, you don't know everything. You need to find that out for yourself. Talk to you later.